Miss Shirley Spivey will be married. Mr. and Mrs. J.G. Spivey of Phoenix City announced the engagement and approaching marriage of their daughter, Shirley, to Hayward Jerkins, son of Mrs. Clyde Duncan and the late Arson Jerkins. The bride-elect is a student at Smith Station High School, where she is a member of the Beta Club, the FMA, and the Glee Club. She is the sister of Miss Ella Mae Spivey and of Julian and Gillis Spivey. Mr. Jerkins was graduated from Central High School and is currently employed locally. Mrs. Lou Cadenhead is his sister. The wedding of Miss Spivey and Mr. Jerkins will be an event on July 2nd.
Alright, so now we're going to talk about y'all's wedding. Do you remember your wedding date, Pawpaw?
Oh, yeah. July the 2nd,
What year?
55.
How old were y'all again?
23 and 17.
Who were you saying that you had to get permission from to marry Nana?
Shirley's daddy.
To go to school, he was talking about.
Oh, to go to school? The principal of the high school, Mr.
Page.
Page.
J.B. Page.
J.B. Page, he was the principal of the high school, and we had to get his permission for her to attend school that last year.
So did you have to go to him, or Nana, or both of y'all?
I don't think he did.
I didn't.
I had to get permission.
Anyway, and he said that he would allow it as long as they didn't get pregnant.
Mm.
So
And
she made it through.
I made it. My friend almost did.
Sally almost didn't make it. Well,
Anyway, if you were showing, you'd have to quit.
So is it common for people to
No.
be married in high school?
No,
No,
it
not
wasn't really
really.
common.
What was it like being married and still going to high school?
It didn't really feel any different. I don't think I went
I
a
don't think-
full day when I was in the 12th grade. Can't remember for sure.
well, I don't think you missed out on anything from being married.
No, you went to our junior senior,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You
So-
didn't dance, but
I wasn't much at dancing.
So did you dance with other guys?
no, not then.
So we skipped over some stuff. Where did y'all get married?
At the pastorium of the preacher's house. Brother Eddins was the pastor that married us.
And so who all was in your wedding?
We just had a witness. We
It
didn't
was just
have
very small. Just
your
a,
sister and her husband was our witnesses.
yeah, they were there, and I don't know who
My
all was
mother
there.
and daddy, and I think my sister and brothers were there, and your mother and Clyde.
Yeah, that's about it.
So basically your
Just
immediate family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
Were any friends there? Sally?
they were on their honeymoon.
Oh,
See, they got married the day before, and I was in their wedding. But then they were on their honeymoon.
Mm.
Didn't have any friends there.
are you glad you had a small wedding?
Oh yeah.
Sometimes I wish I'd had a church wedding, but it didn't really bother me that much. 'Cause Sally couldn't have been in mine then. We got married the next day. Anyway, it worked out. It worked out good.
So were you nervous? How were you the day of your wedding? Or how were you feeling?
I was nervous.
I guess probably I was. I don't know. I don't remember.
You worked.
Huh?
You worked that day.
I know it. I know I had to work some. And I had to.
That
work.
Was it a Friday
I
or
think
Saturday?
Yeah, I don't remember, but I had to go back to work the following Monday, I suppose.
Yeah, you did. We had, it must have been Friday
It had to be.
evening.
Yeah.
And then we left, and he had to be back at work Monday, so we couldn't go far. Which we couldn't afford to go far anyway.
No.
We didn't
Money was
have
tight then.
Didn't have the time.
Where did you go on your honeymoon?
Warm Springs, Georgia.
Pine Mountain.
No, Warm Springs.
Well, that's not the
Well,
same, is
it's
it?
up in the
that
Pine
far?
Mountain area, yeah. Well, I guess it's part of Pine Mountain, really.
It was kind of late when we got there. Well, it was dark, and we hadn't eaten. So Hayward went to find us something to eat, and I stayed at the motel. And I was scared to death the whole time he was gone that something would happen to him and he wouldn't be back. Not that he wouldn't come back, but that he might be in a wreck or something. And so I was so glad to. He had no telling where you had to go to find something in that little town.
It wasn't that
That
far. I
time
don't know
was
where
like-
I had to go. It was
Got
like
a
a little sort
hamburger
of
or-
a drive-in restaurant or something.
Was it a
Yeah.
hamburger? or
And
something?
hamburgers, yeah.
So, what kind of food did you have at your reception?
We
We
didn't
didn't.
have a reception.
We didn't have a reception.
What about a cake?
No
No.
cake. We just got married,
Like we said, it was
and
simple.
left right then on our honeymoon.
And then came right back home.
Right.
Yeah.
But we had a cute apartment to come back to.
Oh yeah?
Mhm.
So, tell us about your apartment.
It was a little 3-room apartment, living room,
Up on Somerville Road.
bedroom,
Yeah, it
and
was on
kitchen.
23rd Street and up on Somerville Road.
A little brick.
Yeah, it was upstairs.
apartment. No. That one was
No, it was
downstairs.
downstairs.
Yeah.
We didn't have the upstairs.
It was a cute little,
Just
looked like a little house.
yeah, there was an upstairs to it, but we didn't have that.
So how long did you live there?
Till she started to school. That's where we
We
moved
got
out.
married in July, August, about
A
2
couple-
months.
2 months maybe.
Mhm.
So where did you move when she started school?
Out with my mother and stepdad.
Back,
Close to where she was raised. Right up the hill.
So why did you have to move in with them?
because I still had to go to school,
Well, we had,
and the school bus come right by, right by there. I rode the school bus for a while, and then I started driving. I drove to school some.
well, you probably did, cause, yeah, I kept it.
Anyway,
So
I
were there any other married people on the school bus with you?
no, I was the only one. I was the only one.
Was it weird being married and still going to school on the school bus?
No. I mean, I'd rather not had to ride the bus, but wasn't. That's the only way I could get there at that time.
What was it like living with
We
your
had
mom?
a bedroom upstairs. And, we had a little kerosene heater, that we'd use in that room to keep warm. And one morning, I got up and lit the kerosene heater and we went down to eat breakfast. And the heater didn't light right somehow. And when we got back up to our bedroom, it was filled with soot and smoke.
Oh, it was horrible.
Everything we had was covered with soot, even in the dresser drawers. That stuff got in everything.
And he had to go to work, and I had to stay home. I couldn't go to school that day. I had to clean up the
It was a mess.
soot and smoke.
Washed out and everything come out of
It was
everything.
a job.
It was a mess.
So did you graduate school?
Yes. I promised Daddy I would, and I did. And the night I graduated, me and Sally, we went to Florida, went to Panama City with the four of us.
Jack and Sally was in the back seat, and we was on the way home from graduation. And somebody, I don't know who it was in the back seat, said, "Let's go to Panama City." And I said, "Okay, we're on the way."
So we run home and got our clothes and took off. Then you could, we could do anything on the spur of the moment. And the motels were not, it
No, I
wasn't
think-
anything like it is now.
No,
They were cheaper and there wasn't that near as many people on the beach.
it wasn't as crowded as it is now.
Yeah.
Down that.
They didn't have the big high-rise hotels and things.
No, it had none of that stuff.
They were just-
Actually, the motel we stayed in wasn't on the beach. It was across the street from the beach.
One of them we stayed in was on the beach.
I know,
too.
How much did a hotel cost at the beach?
but I don't know. Probably, I think it was maybe $225 a night.
Wow.
Didn't cost near as much to buy with the food and stuff. And it wasn't that high down there either. It didn't take much to go. And the gas, what was gas? 20 cents a gallon,
Oh,
maybe.
I don't know.
So
But,
did y'all do that all the time? Just spontaneously go on road trips?
We did it pretty often.
That's the
really.
only place we went was Panama City.
Yeah.
But I had never seen the ocean. I'd never gone with my family. They'd never gone to the beach before.
So what'd you think about it?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. All that.
Sand
Nothing
and
but,
water.
no, nothing but water as far as you can see. Neat. And the water then was just so clear and pretty. Every time we went back then, the water was just beautiful.
Were those beaches like they are now, like real sandy white
Yeah,
sand?
and they kept them clean. They was clean.
Yeah, they had, the beach went back farther then.
Yeah, had more sand, more beach.
Oh, really?
It's different there than it is in Daytona. The beach in Daytona.
Oh.
Daytona is the one that you drive your car on the beach?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's real wide.
We didn't like
We
Daytona.
didn't care that much for Daytona. Of course, it was more famous beach then than Panama City was way back then.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
Was
think
it?
it probably was.
Because you could drive your car on it?
Yeah.
And you had to walk a lot further
Oh,
to
yeah, it was a
your,
lot further.
where you would stay, in your motel, because it's like
I
a
had
road between the beach and
The waves
the,
there were bigger. I had to pull a nanny out of the ocean. There, she
that
fell.
was in Panama. Was
No,
that
it
in
wasn't.
Daytona?
It was in Daytona.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. And we had gone out. She was on a float, and I was just following along. And there was a I don't know what you call it.
Wave.
No, it wasn't just a wave, but the beach.
Oh, undertow.
No, it wasn't undertow either. But the water, like, had a current going down the beach.
That's undertow.
Had a current going down the beach, and then you go out and you don't realize it, and it's taking you down the beach.
That's
Oh, yeah.
undercurrent.
Okay, undercurrent,
It-
whatever you wanna call it, but, we got a little further out, we got further out than we thought that I knew. And a wave came along and took that float out from under her and took it all the way to the beach. And she went down, the water was real clear. She went down like a rock. And I looked down and I saw her coming
swim.
up. And when I saw her head coming up, I reached down with my right hand and got a handful of hair and pulled her on up and put my arm around her neck so she couldn't grab me. Because she was kicking. But I made it to the beach with her close enough I could stand up.
And I could stand up.
That was scary.
Scary to me.
Do you remember
It was
that?
to me.
I remember, getting washed off the float and going in the water. I don't remember him grabbing me by the hair.
What happened, the wave broke, you know how that do, just as it got to her float and she was sideways to the wave. And when it broke, it caught the edge of the float and just
Oh, flipped it.
took it out from under her.
Yeah, I couldn't swim
Yeah.
at all, so it was
Yeah.
really scary.
But
I don't think we went back to Daytona.
we didn't go back to Daytona.
After that.
Did you
Never
get back in
again.
the ocean after that?
Oh yeah.
Even that deep? Over your head?
I don't think I got over my head, but I'd go out on the float,
We had left Becky with Aunt Flossie on that trip, and she was in diapers. She wasn't but a little.
One of the trips, I don't know if it
I
was
think
that
it was
one.
that one when we went to Daytona.
Did you learn to swim in the Navy?
No, I learned to swim in a creek not too far from home when I was probably 7, 8 years old.
And you just never learned to swim or never had the opportunity to learn?
Never had the opportunity to go to a pool or learn
Actually, I was
how.
on an inner tube floating in the creek, and don't know how it happened, but somehow it got out from under me, and I went down and it left me, and I had to swim about 4 or 5 feet to get to where I could stand up, and I made it. So actually, I started swimming.
I didn't get to go to a pool until I guess I was in Miss Ramsey would take me and Linda, that's right. But I never had anybody to teach me, how to swim. I could float on my back, but I couldn't swim. I tried splashing around, but I never had anybody to really teach me.
I thought Papa tried to teach you.
I think he did try.
Didn't work.
No.
It did.
What we had when I was growing up, when we lived in the apartments, they had these big cement place, and they had spouts that water shot up out of all of them,
Oh, yeah.
and we would go to that certain days or so many days a week during the summer. That was.
They have those, they're starting to make those again. They call them splash pads.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Splash pads.
Yeah, Roxy loves to go to the splash pad.
Yeah, it was fun.
Huh. I didn't know they had them back then.
Oh yeah.
They didn't call them that. I don't know what they call them, sprinklers or something.
I don't know if they had a name for them or not.
I'm
Really.
not sure either. I'm sure they did.
They might have.
Did you go to any?
What is it?
I don't know. It's something all over.
Did you get it? I
Yeah,
saw it
something
crawling.
tiny.
I saw
but it was going fast.
It was a fast little thing.
Yeah.
Oh, don't let it
What
get me.
is that? I don't see where it's
Oh.
Right,
from,
a
but I think.
spider.
But no, we didn't care.
Did you get that
Actually-
okay?
Actually,